welcome to Indie Game Award 2026 Winners Interview. I'm Libby. So I have MyeongJin with me from Graytail.
Hi, I'm MyeongJin from Concode. Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
So could you please introduce the Concode team and tell us more about Graytail? What kind of experience are you aiming to provide for players on mobile devices?
Yeah, Concode is a very small indie team. It's just two of us. I do the programming, and my friend handles the art. We first met while working at the same company. We like making games where gameplay and stories are closely connected. So the story comes naturally from how we play. Graytail is our second game. It's a puzzle action adventure with a mysterious tone. Players explore the world, uncover a confusing truth, and eventually face a choice that isn't easy to call right or wrong. Yeah, we are developing Graytail for both PC and mobile. Like our previous game, it doesn't really follow the usual mobile game formula. We believe mobile games don't have to be only short and casual. We wanted to make something that feels like an adventure, even on mobile. It's a bit unusual, but we're happy some players to really connect with it.
Okay, so the mystery of a missing female pilot on a remote Pacific island is a compelling setup. What was the initial inspiration for this story, and why did you choose the Zelda-like adventure genre to tell it?
The idea of missing female pilot came from the real story of Emilia Earhart, but we only followed the basic image, the character and world and story. Completely different. Choosing a Zelda-like structure came from a personal experience. I replayed The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap, and even after 20 years, it still felt incredibly well made. That reminded me how strong puzzle adventure game can be. So we took the core fun of Zelda-style puzzles and mixed it with a darker story and our own art style.
One of the most intriguing parts of the game is that the protagonist struggle with hallucinations and the need of medication. How does the mechanic impact both the story and the gameplay? How did you design the puzzle to reflect this mental state?
The hallucination and the medication aren't just story details. They are central to how Graytail works. As you play, you already questioning what's real and what might be distorted. And the kind of feeling and drive the story. Later in the game, you reach the moment where important choices can change the story end. There are also a hidden path that leads to another ending. For the puzzle, the mental state doesn't change layout directly. Instead, we focus on making players feel unstable through atmosphere and situations.
The judges highly praised the game's visual art, especially the modern touches like water effects on top of a retro pixel style. How did you balance the nostalgic 2D feel with the visual expectations of a modern mobile game?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, and we really appreciate that kind word. Keeping a retro style is great, but we didn't want to simply repeat old pixel art style. We wanted to see how pixel art could grow with modern art. So we used 3D effect and perspective to help 2D and 3D blend naturally. We kept the warmth of pixel art while adding things like water reflection, soft lighting, blur to make it feel familiar, but also a bit new.
The mobile players, they often have different habits compared to PC or console gamers. What was the biggest challenge in adapting a complex adventure game with puzzle and real-time combat to ensure that the smooth and satisfying control on a touch screen?
Yeah, the hardest part was keeping the control simple while still making puzzle and combat feel good. We reduced number of buttons and made one action work in many situations. Objects nearby are targeted automatically, so interaction works with a single touch. Enemies are untargeted by default, but player can use rock on if they want more precise combat.
The game features highly interactive environments, such as lighting bushes on fire. How do these chain action mechanics help keeping the simple gameplay loop engaging and fresh throughout the adventure?
Yeah, we designed the game so things work the way players expect. Fire spread, arrows catch the fire, and explosive boxes react naturally. Because the action connect to each other, players are encouraged to experiment. There are often more than one solution, so finding your own way is part of the fun.
Winning Best Mobile Game at Indie Game Award 2026, it's a great achievement. So many mobile games focus on short burst session, but Graytail offers a deep, immersive exploration experience. Do you think there's a growing appetite for more traditional adventure games on mobile platforms?
Yeah, winning Best Mobile Game was a huge honor for us. Graytail goes against the usual short session mobile design. Our previous game, The Way Home, took a similar approach.
Okay.
We believe many mobile players want deeper experience. And we are grateful to reach them.
So the demo left us with a mysterious callback, cliffhanger. What can the players expect from the full release of Graytail? Are there any plans for new dungeons, more diverse combat style, or are you going to launch at different platform?
Yeah, demo already showed the beginning of the story. In the full game, the truth start to fully unfold. We are adding more complex dungeons, more weapons and tools, and story moment where choices clearly matter. We also want more people to play Graytail, so we are planning to bring it to more platforms, including Xbox or Nintendo Switch, like that.
Well, okay, so one last question.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you know that you are winning the award?
Actually, I didn't expect that, so it's really surprise. Yeah,
Surprise.
yeah.
And happy?
Yeah, really happy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for judges and prayers. Yeah.
So that will be all for today's interview. Thank you for coming and thank you for joining us today. So thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And a quick heads up, the submission for Indie Game Award 2027 will open in July. Don't miss your chance to be part of the grand program. I will see you in the next video. Bye!